Algebra 1, Chapter 5, Section 4, Point-Slope Form. Vocabulary word is function. A function is a relationship that assigns exactly one output value to each input value. I want you to use your vocabulary, complete each sentence with the appropriate word from the list, and then check back here. Let's compare your answers to mine. Quick 3-question review. Please take a moment, read through the questions, determine the answer, and then restart this video to see how you did. And how'd you do? For a y-intercept of 3, this cannot be the answer. That has a y-intercept of positive 4. This has a y-intercept of negative 3. This has a y-intercept of 2. And so the circled is the only possible answer. Slope-intercept form. Remember, you're looking for a form that's y equals mx plus b. Well, this is not in that form. This is not in that form. Y is not alone. This is not in this form. This is actually in the form we're going to talk about today. This is the only one that is in the correct form. And what's true about the y-intercept? If y was equal to 0, it would be the x-intercept. So that's not it. And where the graph touches the x-axis is the x-intercept. So that leaves a circled one as the possible y-intercept. The y-intercept is where x equals 0. Visual reminder of slope-intercept form. Remember that slope is your m, and your y-intercept, where it crosses the y-axis, is the b. And slope-intercept form is when y equals, and must be alone. It's called the point-slope form. And it's quite useful when you have the slope and when you have a point. Using that, you can find the equation. Form of an equation of a non-vertical line with slope m and through x sub 1, y sub 1 is y minus y sub 1 equals m times the quantity x minus x sub 1. In this equation, x sub 1, y sub 1 represents a point on the line, and m represents the slope of the line. So if we look ahead and see that we have a line that passes through 8, negative 4, and has slope 2/3, we can write an equation in the point-slope form of the line. So we need to circle x sub 1. Well, x sub 1 is the part of the point, so this is your x sub 1. Y sub 1 is this negative 4. So this is y sub 1. So when we fill out our equation, we're going to put negative 4 in the y sub 1 place. And yes, those will circle and become a positive 4. Slope is positive 2/3. And our x was 8. So the equation of our line is y plus 4 equals 2/3 times the quantity x minus 8. Let's go ahead and try another one. In this case, we have the point negative 3, 6. And of course, we have our x sub 1 and y sub 1. And our slope equals negative 5. So using our formula, y minus y sub 1 equals m times the quantity x minus x sub 1. That's the point-slope formula. We're going to stick the negative 3 in for the x and the 6 in for the y. And of course, our m will be negative 5. So our equation becomes y minus our 6 equals negative 5 times the quantity x minus a negative 3. Negative times negative is a positive. So y minus 6 equals negative 5x plus 3. Now you will see that this can soon be simplified further. And you can change this into standard form, which you'll be learning, or slope-intercept form, which you already know. 2 gives us the chance to look at this a little bit differently. Knowing that point-slope form is y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1, we can look at the equation and determine what the point is. The x value of our point is right here, and the y value of our point is right here. Now, our form says y minus y sub 1, and this is a positive 7. So that means my y value must be a negative 7, and my x value is positive 4. So this is our correct answer. We can also determine, looking at the equation, our slope. Our slope is negative 4/5. So that means that our slope is negative 4 over 5, or it's 4 over negative 5. So to circle the correct description, it could be going 4 units up and left 5 units. So using these answers, we can graph. So let's graph 4, negative 7. So over 4, down 7. And from there, we're going to go, I'm going to go up 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And go left 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And put a second dot. Now I will continue to draw a line that I'll try to make straight through those 2 points. Here's another one for us to try. Please remember that our form is y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. So looking at that, you realize that this is your y sub 1 and this is your x. So your x value is a positive 1, but in the equation, in the form, it's a negative x sub 1. So to make that happen, it has to be a negative 1. That's your x value. That's your x sub 1. And 5 is your y sub 1. And then your slope is this value right here. So your slope is a negative 2. To graph this, you plot that point. So plot negative 1, 5. So I go negative 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plot that point. And now from there, you want a slope of negative 2, which turned into a fraction is negative 2, 1. So your rise is negative 2 and your run is 1. Then if you've seen me do before, I'm going to do it a couple of times. Negative 2, run is 1. And this creates your graph. Number 3 poses a slightly more complex problem. In this case, it says use the point negative 2, negative 3, that's down here, to write an equation of the line. It also gives us a point 1, 4. So using those 2 points, we use the slope formula to determine the slope. So if I let this be my x sub 2, y sub 2, let this be my x sub 1, y sub 1, I will get the slope by doing 4 minus a negative 3 over 1 minus a negative 2. That'll be 7 over 3. So my slope will be 7/3. And I can use that 7/3 in my point here to write an equation in the point slope form. My y sub 1 is a negative 3. My x sub 1 is a negative 2. 2 negatives make a positive. So my equation is y plus 3 equals 7/3 x plus 2. Once again, we are given 2 points, and we're going to use these 2 points to write an equation of a line that could be graphed. To do that, we need 2 formulas. We need our slope formula, which is y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. And we need our point slope formula, which is y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. And using these 2 formulas, we will determine our equation. I'm going to go ahead and label these points so you know where I'm getting them from. So to find my slope, I'm going to take y sub 2, 1, minus y sub 1, 4, over x sub 2, negative 1, minus x sub 1. And you will see my slope is going to equal negative 3 over negative 2. So my slope is 3/2. I'm going to take that 3/2 and put it in the place of the m. And I'm going to pick one point. It doesn't matter which point I pick. I'm going to pick this one though. So x minus x sub 1 is 1. Y minus y sub 1 is 4. And this creates my equation. y minus 4 equals 3 halves times the quantity x minus 1. Exercise, I want you to take this equation in point slope form, and I want you to distribute the 2/3 through and rewrite this equation in slope intercept form. Go ahead and do that, and then restart this video to determine if you understand how it was done. So hopefully you use the first step of distributing through the 3 halves. So you have y minus 4 equals 3 halves x minus 3 halves. And you're going to add 4 to both sides, and you will have y equals 3 halves x minus 3 halves plus 4. Well, 3 halves is really 1 and 1/2. So if you take 1 and 1/2 plus 4, a negative 1 and 1/2, plus 4, you will have 2 1/2. So you have 3 halves x plus 2 and 1/2 equals y. Well, of course, the y-intercept represents the point on the graph 0, 5 halves. That's where it crosses the y-axis. We're at the point where you need to check the lesson and determine how well you understand what's going on. I'll see you in class tomorrow.